welcome back to another ECB speaking video. Today myself and Sophie are going to continue on to part 4, and hopefully you'll see us presenting our views to the examiner and trying to be as persuasive as possible. Oh yes. Before we start, let's recap. Where are we exactly? Well, we've just completed stage 3, in which we compared the mall and the forest park, and at the end of stage 3 we decided that the mall was the best place for the school trip. So now the examiner is going to say to us, in the next stage I would like you to present your choice to the principal of the school and explain why it is the best option for the school trip. I will now give you 1 minute to organize your presentation. So at this point the examiner will either turn their chair or they may even stand up, because during this stage the examiners swap round, they swap roles. So things to remember before we start. The examiners will change, as I mentioned before, and the new examiner is going to be pretending to be the principal, if I remember correctly. Now you can look at the options, so you'll be able to look at the typed notes. This is the first stage where you can actually do this. So you no longer have to use your notes, which is a good thing. You should use formal language, and this is also a big change now. Remember, you're talking to the principal. He is in a position of respect above you, so we need to be formal wherever possible. The examiner will actually remind you of this, to present 2 points each. The only time this will change is if for some reason there are 3 students together. Sometimes this happens, although it's very rare, and in this particular case they'll ask you only to present 1 point each. Your aim is to be as persuasive as possible, and that is the key to this stage really. When you have your 1 minute, use it wisely, okay? Talk to your partner in English, okay? So if you're both Spanish, make sure you're not speaking in Spanish, because the examiners, they're not marking you during this 1 minute, but they are listening, okay? Select your points and organize who's going to introduce and who's going to conclude as well. So use it wisely. Okay, so here is our option. Very quickly, while you're there, you can try and figure out which points you would like to choose. Alright, so the examiner they're going to change, and the new examiner will come and sit down after we've done our 1 minute of preparation. Yeah, so our 1 minute of preparation is going to start now. Okay, so which do you think are the best points that we should probably choose?
Well, one of them is definitely, I think, the 300 shops. It sounds impressive. It's a good point. I think the restaurants and cafes is a good one.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the 300 shops is a good one. I agree with you here. Restaurant and cafes is a must. Alright, so we kind of have to do that. Okay. What about what's next? I'm not sure really. Spending money obviously is it's a good one. I mean, last stage when we were talking about it wasn't so good, but I think we could, it's not expensive. They can take as much as they want.
Yes, at least, yeah, they can choose.
Alright.
They can control it.
And finally?
The 30-minute bus journey, definitely, because it's not far.
Alright, okay. So which of these points would you like to do?
Can I have the 300 shops?
Alright, okay, that's fine.
I like that. Okay, what about you?
Okay, I'll talk about the restaurants and the cafes, if that's okay.
Okay, the next one then I'll take the 30-minute bus journey.
Alright, and I'll do the spending money. So would you like to introduce the point, or would you like to conclude?
I'll conclude, that's fine.
Okay, so I'll start. Alright, brilliant. On hearing this, the examiner will take his or her chair, and they will ask us, so I understand that you have reached a decision on where we should take the students on this year's school trip. Yes, we had several good options for this year's school trip, but out of all of them, we felt that the mall was definitely the best, and there are a number of reasons for this. First and foremost is the fact that it has all the eating facilities that we will need. There's going to be a wide range of restaurants and cafes for the students to enjoy, and I think this is extremely important because food and drinks is a major part of any school trip, and it will give the students, a choice, and food is very important for them. And the last thing we want to be doing is running around trying to feed the students and students going to different places. I think that will just be very chaotic. So it's extremely important that everything is in one place where we'll be able to control the students. Also, the fact that they only have to bring their own spending money, I think this is a massive plus because they can bring as much or as little as they want, and they're not forced to pay any entrance fees at all or any tickets, and so in this respect it could work out to be quite a cheap school trip for some students. And if they want to spend a lot of money, they certainly have the option to do so if they wish. So now my partner Sophie will continue.
Thank you, Liam. A third reason for our choice was the short bus journey. It only lasts half an hour, which we believe that it's going to be perfect for this trip. One reason for this is that the students are not going to get tired. They're not going to get dizzy, or we're not going to have any travel problems. And the other reason is because we're going to have a longer day to spend at the mall itself. The mall is huge, sounds vast to be honest, so we think that by having a short journey, the students will have lots of time to spend in the mall itself, and maybe do as many activities as possible. A last and final reason was the sheer number of the shops, over 300 to be exact. We believe that this is a huge advantage because it will give the students the choice to do whatever they want depending on what they prefer. Maybe do some window shopping, maybe shop if they want to spend some extra money, whatever they choose. So for all the reasons my partner and I have mentioned, we believe that the mall is the best option of all.
Okay, good. So this is when the examiner now will start part 5, and they'll say, you've certainly raised some interesting points, however I have a few concerns that I would like to ask you about, and then he would go on, and we'll cover that in the next video. So what we've also done here, for those of you who want to actually kind of see what we were saying, is we've pulled up a word for like a model answer for you to read through again. Okay, so what one student would say is in black, and then you'll see the other student come in yellow. So again, you can just pause the video and read through these for yourself. I think is the best thing to do here. So here's candidate A, here's his first point, and here's his second point, and then he introduces his partner at the end, which is also a very nice thing to do because it prompts your partner, obviously. Then the second candidate will introduce their point and their second point, and as well as this, they'll give a very, very brief conclusion, and I emphasize the brief there. Don't bore the examiner to death. Okay? Once again, I hope this video has been useful. If you do need any more help, we do have a part 4 Ecpe speaking video where I tell you all the do's and don'ts and give you lots of tips to boost your mark in this area. And of course, even better than that is to book a private speaking lesson with us, and we can do one-to-one or even with a friend, which is probably even better, especially if they're doing the Ecpe exam with you. That would be awesome. Thank you very much for watching this video. Bye for now.